Lovely to be in this warm, comfy, cosy studio with you this morning, and joined by our very good friend Dave Golden from Patch. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for joining us with Sprocket. You can't see or hear Sprocket if you're watching this on the socials. Very well behaved dog.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely
Her job is meet and greet in the shop in Chelsea. She does it very well.
Yeah, she certainly does. And when everyone goes into the shop, she's always having a bit of a mingle about, isn't she?
And do you know what? People come in the shop just to see the dog. I'm not going to buy anything today.
Oh, really?
Just wanted to come in and say hello to Sprocket, and off they go, Therapy dog.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So last time we spoke, Dave, was at the Christmas toy appeal. We saw you quite a bit over that period, mainly because obviously Patch is in such high demand during that period.
So toy appeal, that's right, down in the old council building in Milford,
Yeah.
And previous to that was the opening of the shop, and here we are, end of January, busiest year ever for Patch. Busy Christmas, over 900 children with toys.
Wow.
Toy appeal.
Incredible.
So yeah.
Great work to everybody involved. It was fantastic speaking to loads of people that just came down and donated some toys.
Yeah.
We had a few dropped off here. Also, the Christmas lights switched on, the Gray family. It's wonderful seeing them, and they always get lots of donations.
Yeah, and a huge donation from them.
Yeah.
A big van full of food that had been donated, which is fantastic every year. These people come out and support Patch. It's amazing. And I say this every time we meet, don't we? I'm in awe of all the volunteers, shop, food bank, and everywhere else that Patch is involved. And I'm in awe of the people of Pembrokeshire, whose generosity to me is just overwhelming.
Yeah, everyone does such a wonderful job. It's really funny, actually. I sort of don't know it's Christmas or I don't feel like it's Christmas until I get a phone call off the Gray family. They're like, Toby, can you come and see our Christmas lights and let everyone know about it? And I mean, it gets tens of thousands of views on socials. Yeah. And they always say every year, flocks of people come and see the lights. But it's that message of, can you just bring, a couple of tins? Can you please bring some donations for Patch? Because that's why we do it. And that's all it is. It's just sort of just getting the message out there to go, look, come and see our great work. But also, please make sure that you do support these charities in need at Christmas.
Yeah, and every year.
And what does a donation like the Gray family by doing Christmas lights mean to you?
Well, I mean, first of all, it ups the profile of Patch, doesn't it? It's good for them because obviously they get an enjoyment out of it. They enjoy people seeing the lights. And of course, for Patch, it just means a huge donation. And again, I think sometimes it just pricks other people's conscience and think, oh, yes, Patch, this time of year, we need to maybe give a little bit extra, to the people who are not in a position to afford it themselves, So I think there's a sort of multi-pronged attack, if you like, about how the benefits for not only for Patch, but I think the people of Pembrokeshire, they expect it. And that inter-family competition of it as well. So that's quite healthy.
It really is. Yeah. I know it's bearing gold ways, mum and dad's lights versus the son and the daughter-in-law's lights of the family of Merlin's Pitch. It's great though. I mean, it's certainly great competition. And I must say, well done to everybody that got involved, by the way, with all the Christmas lights this year, because I know there was lots of other people doing donations for you. It was fantastic to see.
And do you know the thing was, when I went to pick the food up, the dad was there and the son, and you could see the pride in the son, handing over the food, and I can imagine that sort of emanating into school and to his mates, and saying, "Oh, we do it for Patch," And I think that's it's good,
Huge knock-on effect.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And it was great to see a lot of the drop-off points over Christmas. They were bustling. I think every supermarket I went into, the Patch was overflowing with food, and even though we're in these very difficult times, the generosity is still very much there, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. And I come back to this, but the dump bins, as we call them in the supermarkets, overflowing and emptying them. Whereas maybe at the moment we're emptying them once a week. Leading up to Christmas, maybe 3-4 times a week. Constantly getting people sending me pictures saying your dump bin's full, and stuff like that. And I have to say a big thank you to people like Tesco, Lidl, Aldi, Marks and Spencer's. Good supporters, good partnership working, and really up in the profile of Patch and other organisations as well that they help. I know they helped out the Three Amigos this year with toys. Certainly Aldi did. So that it's really positive, and it shows that they're multinational firms, but they've got a bit of a local take on what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it is very important. And the generosity needs to be there, Dave, doesn't it? Because, I mean, just going through some of the figures before we caught up then, I mean 10,000 food parcels last year. 10,000
food parcels, which was about a 31 or 32% increase on the previous year. Which is huge. Yeah. And as a side from that, January's just finished, and we're up about 32% again on last January.
Wow.
So obviously the trend is continuing. Although I know January is a tough month for a lot of people. You know, you get paid a bit early before Christmas. You know, it's a long 5 weeks before you get paid again. So, but yeah, the generosity, you know, is huge, isn't it? And also not just of the supermarkets, but you know, let's not forget people like Ascona, Darren Briggs, £20,000 in food this year. You know, I mean that's huge. You know, that's a 100% increase on what he gave us last year. You know, and Darren, I know, is a big supporter of Patch. Also Valero, Milford Haven Port Authority, people like that. You know. And of course the little person as well, who's digging deep into their pocket and buying a £5 toy and sticking it in one of the collection points. So it's across the whole board really.
I mean, there was a lot more people this year saying, "Oh, you know, I've had to get a patch food parcel. You know, I needed support this Christmas." Or you know, even a few friends have been like, "Crikey, I'm really pushing it." And you know, I've sort of said that you need to check out Patch, and they've had some support from you. You know, it's a widespread problem.
It is
at the moment, and I think it's affecting people that maybe before and never thought they would need any support. But with the cost of living, the bills, and I mean, I think a lot of people now have been, they've been getting the bills coming through in January, and gone, crikey. Or the kids have been home for 2 weeks over Christmas. You know, the heating's been on. All those gadgets and gizmos that need charging up and everything. It's all amounted to some pretty hefty bills, and people have had to have that awful decision: do I heat the home, or do I, do I put food on the table? And that's where Patch really steps in.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had quite a few self-referrals, people, messaging on social media and coming to the shop and saying, how do I get help? Can I have help? Even because obviously, as you know, we rely on a network of referring agents, either from social care or health or whatever, but actually people were coming direct to us, and I think you're right. They're finding that, maybe 1 or 2 weeks they couldn't afford food. They were paying their bills and heating costs. So yeah, we're happy to step in and provide. But obviously, you don't want to create a dependency on that. But it is there as a safety mechanism. Maybe 1 week out of 4 that they just needed a bit of food, maybe just to divert the money somewhere else. So yeah, I mean that's what Patch is about. We want to feed people.
Yeah, and a great support network, invaluable. I mean, what does that mean in terms of demand on you? Because I mean, 10,000 food parcels. I mean, 150,000 meals.
Yeah.
Well, that's the population of Pembrokeshire and some all receiving a meal.
Well, ultimately, Toby, is that, exactly, and that's a huge. I mean, I wouldn't even calculate the number of tins of beans and stuff, but that's a huge undertaking, and remarkably, it's down to volunteers. We get the food coming in, we collect it obviously, but ultimately, it's down to the volunteers to get those referrals in, sort the food out, and then get them ready and get our volunteers to deliver them. So yeah, it's a huge undertaking for such a small team, but a very dedicated team.
Yeah, hats off to all of the Patchites. Lots of love to all of you who do such a wonderful, wonderful job. We are currently live on our Facebook, Insta, Twitter, and YouTube as well. So if you do want to get any messages over to anybody, if you've had some help and support from Patch, maybe you've donated some of your time and helped out as a volunteer, please do get in touch with us. We'll get your messages on the way very soon. So very busy period over Christmas for the toy appeal. Lots of people needing the demand. And then the shop is in the mix as well now, Dave, which we've been delighted to be down a few times. And I mean, it's just great to see how well it's been supported. Whenever we've been down there, there's so many people in that shop.
It just goes from strength to strength. And again, that sort of amazes me how, we just get so many donations in, and the stuff, the stuff that's donated is really good quality stuff. And we're making money to pay to buy food for upstairs. But yes, it's really popular. But also, I think for a lot of people in Milford, a lot of vulnerable people, it's a safe space. They come in, they want to touch base with you. We're open 6 days a week now.
Want to see Sprocket?
They want to see Sprocket. Yeah, and that's true. That is genuine. People just come in and say, "Oh, where is she?" And she's got. And I'll just tell you a little story. She, when we first started in the shop, me and Sprocket, so she found an old pair of socks. Well, they were a clean pair of socks then. She pinched them out of one of the baskets, and she's had those socks, and she just walks around the shop all day, hoping that somebody's going to take the sock and throw it for her. So
when we next come in, I'll make sure we get those socks and throw them.
But the shop, and the shop is going really well, and again, huge bank of volunteers for that, and they're very dedicated. And we also now, as we believe that we're a safe space for people and also a warm space, we do soup free soup on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is made for us across the road by Taste of Haven.
Lovely.
And then we give out free cups of soup, which has proven to be really popular.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you'll be hearing plenty more about the warm spaces over the next coming weeks and months, as we're proud to support that with PAVS. And Pembrokeshire County Council. And it's important that people just know there is somewhere safe to go and somewhere where they can have a food, drink, and with like-minded people, or just not to even talk about your worries, but just to know that there's somewhere you can go.
Yeah, and of course they do see it as a safe space, and we don't. There's no pressure on them to buy anything. They just come in, have a mooch around. We change the shop around on a regular basis, or the volunteers do, and it works really well. And as you say, yeah, people come in, whether it be for whatever reason, whether it just be to see the dog or have a cup of soup, or maybe a combination of all the things. I think they really enjoy it, and it is proving popular.
Yeah. When is the shop open again, Dave?
The shop is open every day now, so 10 till 2:30, Monday to Friday, 10 till 2 on a Saturday. So we've gone 6 days now. We were 3 days, but yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Busy. Plenty going on. And of course, if you'd like to volunteer and help Patch, people can do that quite easily.
Yeah, call in at the shop, give me a ring, email Dave Golding at patchcharity.co.uk. You can send me an email, come along, have an informal chat. And see, it's not for everybody, but there's a bit of a combination. You've got the food bank, you've got the shop, you can mix and match, do a little bit of either, so we're always looking for volunteers.
Oh, fantastic. So get in touch with Dave. We've got a message in from Denise Dargan. It says, it's been such a big help for people, and I think it's amazing the work that you all do, and lots of love hearts.
Ah, there we are.
Thanks, Denise. That's a very sweet message.
Thank you, Denise. Yeah.
So another busy year ahead then, Dave. Plenty happening. I guess there's a lot going on behind the scenes, probably safe to say, at Patches. Now you sort of adjust to post-pandemic.
Yeah, and lots of changes on the way. So pre-COVID, we had a network of outreach posts. There was one in Haverfordwest, Pembroke Dock. So when COVID struck, then we sort of retreated back to Milford Haven and did a delivery service. But obviously that proves expensive. We've got to pay people's petrol and volunteers' time. So we're gonna in the next month we're gonna open up these outreach posts again. I've already made contact with lots of partner agencies, and we're gonna start having parcels dotted all over the county. Hopefully we'll get a good coverage. We'll have a mini food bank in Pembroke Dock with the VC Gallery in St Mary's School, we're gonna start opening up so that we can have less of a reliance on deliveries, and people will be able to go to a local food bank, or a referring agent will be able to go to a local partner agency and pick up the food and deliver it to the clients themselves. So yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, lots of change, and I'm working on it at the moment. So hopefully we'll have a sort of an announcement about times and where people can go in the near future. Yeah, in the next few weeks. Yeah.
So I guess it's sort of rolling back before the pandemic, and hoping that there is more opportunity and availability, I guess, for people, and less reliant on the restraints of Patch.
Yeah, absolutely, and about more partnership working, because I think it's very important that we engage with what we would see as our natural partners, if you like. So yeah, it's about rolling back the clock a little bit and getting back to more of the model that we had before. So that is, and hopefully nobody will be very far from a place where they can get some food.
Yeah, and that is important, that accessibility, but also people have got to be mindful that if there is this sort of almost concierge service that you were supplied during COVID, it comes at a cost.
It's very, very expensive. I won't tell you what it cost us last year.
We won't want to know.
No, but it is very expensive. So, and obviously that's money that we could be spending on food. So basically we'll be reaching out to our partner agencies to help us by storing food, and they'll be reaching out to our referral partners or agents, so that they can come and collect the food and deliver it to the people that they've requested it for. So
which there are so many as well. I mean, not forget when we were at the shop, and all the support from Planet, and all the fresh food deliveries that were coming in that day. Yeah, it was fabulous. I mean, just to see how many people were all chipping in and making such a big difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's about making. I think Pembrokeshire's small place. Obviously, we see the benefit of Pembrokeshire people volunteering, donating, and I'm sure those organisations do as well. So it's about creating a huge family of people that want to do Pembrokeshire people good, really. I think that's ultimately what it's all about.
Yeah, most definitely. It's what we do best in Pems.
Absolutely.
We come together and we support one another.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fab. Well, I mean, some of those stats eye-watering. I guess it's going to be another very busy year for you ahead.
Yeah.
Probably another record breaker.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, quite probably. Yeah.
So Patch needs you. They need your support. If you can donate some time, if you can just dig deep. Donate some money or get some tins while you're out there in your shop.
Yeah.
Get them into one of your dump bins.
Or if you just want to come and cuddle Sprocket,
Yeah.
you're more than welcome.
Well, Mandy's been in touch as well, Dave, to say, Dave, shut up and get back to the shop. We're missing Sprocket and we're bored of listening to you yapping away. There you are, Dave.
I'll deal with them when we get back.
Mandy, you best get the kettle on pronto, and some biscuits, and some chocolate fingers, and some Jaffa cakes. I think you're going to need to do a bit of sucking up there. Big shout out to the Patch Lights, though. They're wonderful, aren't they?
Brilliant,
They
yeah.
always do such a great job. Thanks for getting in touch, Mandy. And of course, anything you need, Patch are there to help support and guide you. All you've got to do is check out Patch Charity on the socials. Thanks for coming in, Dave. Always. Great catching up, my man.
Thanks very much. Huge support. I know how much you support us, and I always do, and it's great. Thanks.
Absolute pleasure. Yeah. No, you do the hard work. We just talk. As Mandy says, we just yap. We got the easy job, haven't we, Mandy? We just yap. It's Billy Ocean on Pure West Radio. Good to see you, Dave. Bye, Sprocket.
Over 5 million homes are at risk of flooding, yet many people don't realise they're in danger. Even if you've never been flooded before, it can happen to you. Protect your family and home.